Hello and welcome to another of Turtleton's tutorials. Today we're going to be looking at enchanting armor in Minecraft. And getting right into things as always, here we have our enchanting table, and if we right click on it, you'll be able to see that we have the capabilities of enchanting armor. Now I've already made up a few sets of enchanted armor, and the first of this is simply protection. Simply put, with the protection enchantment, the armor receives all damage taken from the player, not just the hit points. So that being normally with a set of common armor, you would take a portion of the damage, and the armor would take a portion of the damage, meaning that you can still die wearing armor. Whereas with the protection enchantment, it's effectively the same as getting a large number of extra hit points. With the fire protection enchantment, all fire damage is reduced. So each piece of armor gives you a certain amount of fire protection. Very simple. Then we have a boot-only enchantment, which is the Featherfall enchantment. This negates a point's worth of damage, points worth of full damage specifically, for each level the enchantment has. Then we have the blast protection damage, which, as it says, protects the user against damage taken from explosives, be they creeper, TNT, or ghast. And we also have the projectile protection, which, again, protects you from any projectile weaponry, such as arrows. And then finally, the two helmet-only enchantments are Respiration and Aqua affinity. Respiration gives you effectively an extra 15 seconds of breathing while underwater, along with reducing the damage taken over time while you are drowning. And the Aqua affinity perk gives you a speedier mining ability while underwater. So, showing how these things work, we're going to start away with just a single set of armor, standard armor, and see how this works when taking damage. So you'll see I've caught myself on fire, and I take damage over time, as does my armor, as my health will slowly drop. And then eventually I'll recuperate it once more. Now, with armor which has been enchanted with protection, you'll be able to see that I can take damage, but my health points actually can still heal. All the damage I take is being distributed across the armor. No health is being dropped from me. As you can see, if I take some damage again, I remain on fire, but all damage goes straight to my armor. As for fire protection, while we have a fire here, we might as well make the most of it. See that compared with standard armor, I'm taking very little damage. In fact, I'm taking no direct damage from being on fire, where my armor still is. Now, for the Featherfall. First we'll see how much damage I take on this 10 block high jump without any armor at all. You can see that's 3.5 hearts worth of damage from this small tower. Now, if we use standard armor, in fact we can use all this armor, and you'll see full damage is not reduced when wearing a standard unenchanted set of armor. You can just give it another second just to recuperate some health, and take the plunge. You go exactly the same as before. But with Featherfall, I park these on, Featherfall at this level, you'll take considerably less damage when relating directly to falls. So, once again, just waiting for this to fully reheal. Here we go. Only half a heart worth of damage. It's also worth noting that the boots don't take any damage either. That's because the damage is being negated by the enchantment. Now, the projectile enchantment, for this we'll just equip ourselves with some boots to protect our Achilles tendons, and we'll see how much damage we take with these. That's 2 arrows, 3 arrows, 4 arrows, and 5 arrows. So after 5 quick arrows we take 3 hearts worth of damage. And with the same, just in the protection of the boots, once again, all of these will add up, but just to demonstrate how effective they are. And once I fully re-heal, we'll take another 5 arrows worth of hits. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You'll see that there's only 1 heart's worth of damage taken over the course of that time. A considerable improvement. Now for drowning. Here we are. You can see how long it will take me to drown. The view's not going to be that impressive, but you can see that I'm slowly losing oxygen. And this health meter just back here. And once I've lost all air, I'll take damage relatively rapidly. See, it won't take me long at all to die from that effect. But with respiration, I can go under here and, well, it's going to take a considerably longer time for me to lose this amount of air. See, the bubbles pop slower, the bubbles last longer, and for me to demonstrate it in this fashion, it's going to be a while. So if I just take the helmet off, I should start losing air back at the normal rate. And with it back on, just once this last one goes, you'll see that I even take damage some more slowly. Here we go. Considerably slower. I even have time to heal slightly. Now, with the Aqua affinity, we'll just demonstrate how quick it is to mine this obsidian block while standing in water. So I've started pretty quickly, and you can just about make out the visibility of how quickly this is disintegrating. And you'll see that I'm clearly going to die way, way, way sooner than this block will be destroyed. We're not even close. Now, with Aqua affinity, it doesn't increase the length of time you can stay underwater, but I should be able to break this down before I start taking any damage. Here we go, still 4 blocks worth of oxygen left. So, finally, for something a little bit more exciting. Now, if I just place on, well, let's say 2 pieces of armour, and see how much damage I take from this TNT block. A lot of damage. So, with blast protection, if I place on the same 2 pieces of armour, and, well, you're going to have to wait for me to heal up on this one, this may take some time. But with blast protection, even with just the exact same pieces of armour as before, I should take a lot less damage. Okay, here we are back on full health, and it's now starting to rain, so placing this TNT down, and wow, only 1 heart's worth of damage. Big improvement. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and use this last one to demonstrate what happens with no armor. I'm pretty certain you can work that out yourselves. So, finally, let's come over here and see what we can enchant. Right, if we use our standard armor, and we try to get something high, well, let's just try 25. Standard protection. Try it with the boots. 32. Projectile protection. Nothing too interesting there. I'm going to go ahead and see if we can get ourselves several perks, several enchantments on the one. There we go. Protection and Aqua affinity. Quite useful. Again, we'll go for another higher one, as higher enchantments seem to yield multiple things. Again, Slightly different levels, slightly different orders, but 2 enchantments on 1 item. Now, the protection class enchantments are all mutually exclusive, in that if you have armour with standard protection as an enchantment, then you can't also have fire, blast, or projectile protection. However, you can have, say, a helmet which has both respiration and aqua affinity enchanted on them, which would effectively make that a very useful helmet to have when doing any subaquatic bases. As I've mentioned in the other videos, it's usually better to have an enchantment placed on a piece of armor, or tool, or weapon at an earlier experience stage, and yet unless you're specifically trying to get a certain high level of enchantment. One particular example would be to look at Aqua Affinity. There's only one level of Aqua Affinity, and it can be randomly assigned from any of the random combinations of enchantments between levels 1 and 41. So, if you pick a level 41 enchantment and it turns out to be Aqua Affinity, well, you've just gone and wasted 40 levels of experience, because Aqua Affinity can be granted at level 1. However, if you're desperate to get a specific enchantment at a high enchantment level, then you need to get a high level of experience. For example, level 4 protection only exists at experience levels costing 49 or more. So, this has been Turtleton's Tutorials. Hope you've gleaned some knowledge over enchanting armor in this episode, and as always, I hope to see you again next time.